All right, here we are. Hello, and welcome to the newest edition of IT Architects Cyber Corner Chat. Today, we're going to talk about 5 ways that you can avoid cyber risk. You guys know me. My name is Melanie Padron, aka your go-to cybersecurity girl. I'm the business development manager at IT Architects, and today I am joined by my trusty sidekick, super sleuth Marcus Trasher. He's actually our cybersecurity officer here at IT Architects. IT Architects is a managed service provider, an MSP with a security-first mindset, which is just one of the things that makes us a little bit different than some of the IT shops out there. We like to say that we're cybersecurity evangelists, and I always say that kind of with a wink because our job is to tell you the ugly truth about what's happening in the cyber world, and that's usually not a pretty picture. But at the end of the day, our business is keeping your business safe, and we're on a mission. Right, Marcus?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How are you?
Good. It warmed up just a little bit, and the sun came out, so I'm super
Love
happy
that.
not to be. Yes, it's not below freezing right now.
That's right.
All right, so companies, Marcus, can use many different strategies really to avoid cyber attacks and enhance their overall cybersecurity posture. That sounds so official, but that's just making sure you have good cybersecurity practices in place. And so today we're just going to talk about 5 top ways that companies can kind of get pointed in the right direction and started. So let's first talk about employee awareness training. You and I talk about this all the time. You're actually in charge of that here at IT Architects. So when you defend your people, you defend your business because people are your number one risk, right? We talk about that all the time. You can't control what they do. You can't control what they click on. You can't control where they accidentally send their credentials or fall victim to a business email compromise. So that's why it's important to prioritize employee training programs so that everyone can stay informed and vigilant. So, Marcus, what would you tell us about a good, solid employee training program, awareness program, and maybe even kind of what that looks like here at IT Architects when we deliver that to our customers?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be, like you said, it's all about awareness. So it's giving them basically reps. You show them phishing emails. You show them tactics that the bad actors are going to use to try to manipulate them to try to get through our security defenses. And that's really what it's all about. They are going to be one of your first lines of defense. They're going to be the ones clicking on emails, and that's how bad actors a lot of times get into your network. So you just educate them, you get in front of them, and you make it fun as well. And that's something that we like to do.
I was going to say that. This is not like about boring, once a year, check mark the box, I did my employee awareness training. This is like teaching them how to recognize the latest scams and how to spot those phishing attempts and emails and how to recognize all different kinds of potential risks. And can I talk about my favorite, teaching them not to reuse their passwords or store their passwords in browsers? Yeah, so that's my favorite. Help us understand why we should not store passwords in browsers, because Chrome and Edge pops up and it says, do you want to store that password? And I'm always like, yes, it's so convenient. I do want to store my password, but you taught me that that's not okay. And so when I came to work here, I had to go through my entire list of stored passwords in browsers and delete all of them and update them. So why can't we do that?
Yeah, we'd love to talk about that one. It's because it's stored locally on your machine when you use that browser safe password. So if someone were to get on that machine, it's fairly easy to exfiltrate all those passwords. And if you're one that reuses passwords on your work accounts or anything like that, they can get access to a lot of different accounts through that. And a password manager is going to be a secure way to store them because it's not on your network, it's not on your computer, it's somewhere safe. So.
Yeah. And we like to make this fun, like you said. We're talking about, you know what, you'd be so proud of me because I also do our employee awareness training, what we give our customers. And this morning I logged on, I watched my little 3-minute video, I took my quiz, and it's kind of like gamification. It's fun. I get to keep track of my score. I get to compete against myself and others. So like making it fun and on a regular basis, I think are key.
That's exactly it. And because it's real, like it's not the most entertaining subject sometimes. So, we like to use videos. We use little quizzes. Again, I mentioned the phishing simulation emails, and that's going to help the user be more involved, and they want to be learning. And again, the gamification is huge. You have your score, but then for the manager standpoint, the more reps we get in front of the user, that's going to help them identify, okay, maybe I have some higher risk users here that we need to acknowledge.
That's a good point. So we can show a customer not just where their weaknesses are, but who their weaknesses are, and maybe who they need to focus and prioritize their training on just a little bit more of a deeper level, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. So let's move on to number 2. We're going to talk about implementing robust access controls. So this is AKA the principle of least privilege. So I've learned about this too. So we can keep things tight by only giving like those keys to the kingdom to the people who actually need it. And that means that everyone is on a need to know basis only. So I like analogies. I imagine a kingdom and a castle, and you only get the keys to the rooms that you need. So if I'm a chef in a castle, I only get the keys to the kitchen or to the dining room where the food is served. I don't get to go to the bedrooms and the other quarters of the castle. People should be given the minimum level of access they need to do their job. And not everyone needs admin access. And I think that's one of the things I've been so surprised at as we've run risk assessments and gone in and look at different businesses is how many people have administrative access that don't need it. Because if the admin is compromised, everybody's compromised. So tell me a little bit more about why this is so important and what that looks like.
Yeah, it's really just going to minimize your attack surface. Because again, if you don't have administrative users, then if that account is compromised, it's going to be much harder for the bad actor to get the access that they need. Now they'll still find ways, but again, you're minimizing the impact of that initial compromise.
Got you. Okay. How about we talk about number 3, regularly updating your software and patching those. Patch management is what it's called. Keeping systems up to date is literally a non-negotiable because every day, I swear, my computer every single day says you have a new update. Please restart your computer. Let the updates run. The cyber threats are evolving. And so regular updates and patches are just essential to maintaining a secure environment. We cannot ignore them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Patching it's no one loves it, but it's there for a reason, right? It's keeping these operating systems, applications, endpoints, everything needs to be secure, and there's vulnerabilities that pop up all the time, and vendors are constantly patching to fix those vulnerabilities. So it's a necessary evil.
So when I see those little software updates in the bottom right of my computer, I think of them kind of like as little mini makeovers for my system. Threats are coming out, patches are being developed to address those threats. And I've got to constantly let my computer just have that little upgrade, that little makeover. And I mean, I know for me personally, the reason why I put them off is because sometimes it's at an inconvenient time. Sometimes I'm in the middle of work. Sometimes I'm just lazy. So can you talk to us about how we prioritize and do our software updates so that it's not intrusive to the end user? Like, how do we do that so it happens and it's not disruptive?
Yeah. So obviously the critical security patches are one thing where we're going to need to run those ASAP to solve. But we're going to communicate with the end users who are affected by that. And anything else we do off, after hours or when the user is not in front of the machine, so that it does ease some of that. But again, a critical is a different story, but typical patching is going to be, we can do after hours.
Gotcha. So after hours, that's as least intrusive as possible to the customer.
Yes,
Gotcha.
exactly.
All right, so that's 3. Let's talk about number 4, network security measures. A network is a critical part of an operation, and securing it should obviously be a top priority. What are some ways that companies can reinforce their network against cyber attacks?
Yeah, a couple things that come to mind are just the firewall technology that you're using. So the next generation firewalls or UTM firewalls are going to have all of the security features packed into just that one device. And so that's definitely something that we implement as soon as we come on board with a customer if they don't already have that. And that's going to be a one device, all the security tools you need right in that one package, and it's constantly updated with signatures and things like that. So that's a first step. And then a second step would be something like a secure access service edge or a SASE, which is going to cover employees wherever they are. They're going to have secure access to applications and resources on your network. So those are 2 just things that we look at when we come on board.
Okay, I want to talk about intrusion detection systems. So if I go back to the castle analogy, I'm going to take it basic here. An intrusion detection system would be like a castle having a watchtower and a guard. And that guard is watching everything that comes and goes. And if it sees something suspicious, it'll like blow the horn and raise the warning and say, something looks suspicious here. So can you tell us about a time that we had like network security measures of some type just playing a role in identifying, stopping, or even just limiting the damage because we got that alert and we were able to get on it, and that damage or that we say that blast radius was minimized? Can you talk to us, give us an example of that maybe?
Yeah, we had a recent incident with one of our customers, and the bad actors did get on their network. We ended up being alerted, not by the IDS, but it was an endpoint. Our endpoint detection picked up on that. And then where the network monitoring and the network security really helped out was after the fact. So recognizing what techniques and tactics they were using on the network to be able to circumvent our security that we had in place. So that it's kind of you have to have many layers, but network security is definitely a piece of that, and especially in this instance, looking after the fact. Okay, we could look at the logs and see what they were trying to do, and educate ourselves for future events.
Yeah, so we have all these tools, but our experience and our management of those tools is what takes it to a whole other level. Like, I think you guys are cybersecurity superheroes, like superhero status. All right. How about we talk about our 5th one here, incident response planning. I know this is another big one for companies to have as well. Because while we're working to prevent cyber attacks, we also recognize the importance of being prepared for the unexpected. And that's where an incident response plan can come into play, because no security can stop 100% of attacks. So it's important to have this incident response plan in place as well. Is that right?
Oh, yeah. The plan is going to outline the steps that you're going to take. And so it's important to understand those ahead of time, practice ahead of time, make sure that anyone who might be involved in the incident response knows their role and knows what they're expected to do in case an incident comes up. So that's kind of what the plan is there for, so that you can practice, so that you can plan and be prepared to respond whenever an incident does occur.
Yeah, I asked in an email not too long ago, to a group of our attendees, what would you do? Do you know what you would do if you were hacked tomorrow? Like, do you have a plan in place? Do you even know who you contact first? Like, do you, and that's why this is so important. And I mean, again, we saw last month firsthand how having a well-defined plan can minimize downtime, reduce damage, and like you mentioned, swiftly recover in the aftermath of an incident. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. And in that instance, last month, we had it defined. If this type of incident is identified, then we'll reach out to a forensics company and incident response company to assist us. And that's exactly what we did. We were able to get, once the forensics gave us the okay, 18 hours, and then 18 hours after that, we got them back, their critical systems back online, and the data recovery point was 15 minutes. So we got them right back to where they were before the incident.
That was amazing. Gosh, well, okay, so that's it for our Cyber Corner chat today. We talked about five strategies that, when put together, really can get you pointed in the right direction, and it creates a comprehensive approach to cybersecurity. It gets you prepared for that bad day, because we know it's not if you have an event, it's when, and we want you to be prepared. And I hope that you found value in what we've talked about today. If you have, please like, comment, share this with your network. This helps more people see the content we create, which means that the businesses and the people behind those businesses are safe, which also contributes to the overall cyber resiliency of our country. And if you want to make sure that your company is up to date and prepared to defend against cyber attacks, schedule a cyber strategy session now. It's completely free, and it only takes about 20 minutes really for us to get to know you a little bit, point you in the right direction, and just set up a plan of action for starting to move forward. Every second, every minute that you wait is another minute you're at risk. You really have nothing to lose and everything to gain. You can do that by dropping a comment below, or I'll also put in the comments the website to schedule a strategy session is simply strategy.itarchitects.com. On behalf of everyone here at IT Architects, we are wishing you a safe, secure, and successful new year. And until next week, we will catch you on the safe side. Thanks so much, Marcus.
Bye.
All right, bye, guys.